Hey, this is Jaden Storm coming from Team Shadow Strike. Hope you all are doing well. I have another updated deck profile here for you guys, and today this is going to be, on this video in particular, it's going to be my Eradicators. So I hope you enjoy this. So I'm just going to jump right into it, and I'll explain my choices. Or changes. So, anyway guys, this is still the starter, Linchu. If you are watching this, then you more than likely know what Linchu does. Supporting an attack, if it hits your opponent's Vanguard, counterblast 1, move him to the soul, pop a grade 1 or less. It's the best starter that you can play for Eradicators. If you do not want to play this, then play the grade 3 Searcher. For the triggers, I have changed that. I play 3 Pollux and 3 Fox, so 6 crit, 3 blue Carbuncle, and 3 Dragon Mage for 6 draw trigger, and then 4 heal trigger. So 6 crit, 6 draw, 4 heal. And hang on guys, I am throwing cards. Okay, next comes the grade 1s. We play 4 copies of Eradicator Wyvern Guard Gold. So that's obvious. We want to max out on our perfect guards, and we want to play the Eradicator 1 since our deck does require some Eradicator counterblasting. If you do not have Eradicator perfects, you do not. I know people who, since they don't have the perfect guards for Eradicators, they just don't play perfect guards. If all you have are the original golds for Narukami, play those. It's better to have those than no perfects at all. Just make sure that you are aware of what you're counterblasting. You want to leave the Eradicator ones face up if you are playing cards that require Eradicator counterblasting. 4 copies of Eradicator Demolition Dragon. This is our 10k attacker for Eradicators. You just want to have those because in early game you can rush the hell out of your opponent. For the rest of the grade 1s, we play 4 copies of Deadly Eradicator Ui. When you ride a grade 3, if this is on your rear guard, you can move it into the soul and pop a unit in your opponent's front row. Very, very useful. And it also fuels for this guy, which is 2 copies of Rising Phoenix. Basically, Soul Blast 2 and draw 1. It's the only Eradicator in this deck that I do. It's the only non-Eradicator card that I play in the deck. So, grade 2s, we play 4 copies of Eradicator Spark Rain Dragon. This is our 12k attacker, guys. I really don't need to get into why you need to play your 12k attackers. It helps you hit higher numbers, helps you hit your 20s, your 19s. It's just good, solid power. So, max out on those. I have gone up to 4 copies of Supreme Eradicators Witan. The bad thing about Narukami and Eradicators is they are very counterblast heavy. That is their downside, but for good reason. Now, the one thing, while I'm on grade 2s here, well, let me show you my next grade 2 and then I'll get into that. And then for my last grade 2 is I play 3 copies of Fiendish Sword Eradicator Cho-Oh. His ability is when he's placed on the Vanguard or the rear guard, you may take 1 unit from your rear guard, move it into your soul, and then pop a unit in your opponent's front row. Now, the only reason... Here's my problem with Eradicators. They have no way to pop back row. Now, I know that's not part of them, but I wish they had 1 card that allowed them to do it. Now, you may play a card called Eradicator Lorentz Force, but all that does is it let you counterblast 1 when you ride a grade 3, and then your opponent has to drop a unit from their field. Now, I personally don't like that, because I think your opponent is more than likely going to save their boosters and then just call out another attacker at times. And plus, it's another counterblast. Now, there is a card back from set 10, and it was an 8k. You counterblasted 1 to pop a unit on your opponent's field, but then they drew a card. You could try that. I just haven't thought of that because it's an 8k rearguard. I'm not real fond of 8ks. That's an option. I just don't like it, so I just play as many cards that I can to retire units in the front row. There is only 1 card I play that is going to target back row, but it is not going to be... Well, there's actually 2, but one of them is not my choice. And that is 3 copies of Eradicator Ignition Dragon. He is the new break ride from set 14 for Eradicators. Basically, when a grade 3 rides over him, you may counterblast 1. That gives your Vanguard an additional 10,000 power, and then your opponent must drop 2 units from their field. So they might hit a booster, but the reason I didn't max out on this is Eradicators really don't need it because of the new boss monster they got in 14, which, if you should know what I'm talking about, is I play 3 copies of Eradicator Tempest Bolt Dragon. So I really don't see the point of maxing out on this. I mean, you can if you want, but I just didn't feel the need to. Tempest Bolt, pretty simple. Special Counterblast 3, blow the board up, and then when he attacks, for every empty rearguard circle on both players' fields, he gains 2,000 power, so he can get big fast. And then for the last grade 3 is I play 2 copies of, in my opinion, of the best Eradicator boss monster in the game, and that is 2 Eradicator Draconic Descendant. This is very, very good for your late game, because in the late game when you are swinging for 18 and your opponent guards the attack, he can stand back up, and when he does stand back up, he's going to gain a crit, and that can sometimes pose a big problem. So keep that in mind. If you are playing an Eradicator deck, I would recommend anywhere from 2 to 3 Descendant, but that's just me. So anyway, guys, that's all I had for this. I just was going through my decks trying to update them, and I made some changes to this, so I thought I would share it with you and share a couple of my reasonings for this deck. So I hope you enjoyed the update on my Eradicators, guys. So if you have any questions about Eradicators and you want to ask it, feel free to. I haven't played Eradicators in tournament in quite a while. Maybe I should play this in a tournament pretty time soon. I just haven't really gotten around to it because I've been playing other things. But it is a very, very fun deck. I will give it that. So if you are playing Eradicators, power to you. I've always loved the Narukami clan. So maybe I'll play this Saturday at my locals. I haven't decided yet. But who knows, right? But I do love playing Eradicators. That's why I did choose to keep the deck. After Vowing Sword Reverse came out, I contemplated putting all the cards in my trade book, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I really love the red clans, and now that I have all 4 of them, I very doubt that I ever will trade away this stuff, but Eradicators are fun to build, and they are a very, very good deck when played properly, which can be said about almost every deck. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. So in the comment section below, feel free to tell me what your thoughts are on my build. Give me suggestions. Always like to hear that. Or if you have a question of why I don't play a certain card, I will be more than happy to answer that. So anyway, guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel before, please do so for deck profiles, trade discussions, discussion videos, all kinds of fun stuff. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you later.